A long time ago, back in the 70s, video games didn't exist. A company by the name of Magnavox decided to change that and created the first home video game system in the Magnavox Odyssey. Its controls were rather primitive and only had variations of Pong. In fact, the graphics were so limited you had to use plastic overlays on your television screen in order to get any sort of image. I am not looking at that console today. Instead, I'm looking at this one. It's the successor to it. It's the Odyssey Squared, released in 1978, also known as the Philips Video Pack in certain areas of the world. As you can see, it's the ultimate computer video game system ever created. Everything released since then has been a waste of time. As you can see, the box is in a bit of a pre-loved condition. Oh, hang on. I love these photo stock images of the families. There's a couple of different ones. There's that there. There's the more commonplace. We're all playing the video games. I'm willing to bet that didn't happen in the 70s. And oh yeah, we've got a third one here. And if you're wondering what the back of the box looks like, I'm sort of still wondering that too. Plenty of tape on it. Yes, it's a very old and very big box, surprisingly. Now, this was released roughly around the same time as the Atari 2600, which is more well-known. I'm not going to bother looking at the Atari because we all know what it is. Let's have a look at this system, though. Oh, look! It's one of those Odyssey Squared I was talking about earlier. Yes, as you can see, it's a far bigger console than the Atari 2600. That's any of the models. Although it's mainly because of the keyboard here. The guts of it's pretty much limited to the top third of the console. Anyway, here's the close-up of the keyboard. As you can see, not really keys. Just mere button, doesn't need to push down, so you don't want to really type an essay or anything on that, otherwise you'll probably get blisters on your fingers. Move up here, we've got the cartridge slot in there. We've got a nice big solid power button. I like that. And a little logo to remind you what the console is. Let's have a look at the controller. Here's one, and here's another one. It comes bundled with two controllers. Remember that? When machines used to come with two controllers so you can play multiplayer straight out of the box? Pebridge Farm remembers. Anyway, as you can see, joystick with a lot of travel, I guess you'd say. Definitely far more flexible than the Atari joystick. Just the one button. And same deal there. Now, what's interesting about these controllers, if we rotate the console, they're actually hardwired into the console. So that actually makes exchanging the controllers a real pain if you happen to break one. That's a problem that the Atari didn't have. I mean, you can break as many as you wanted, and as long as you found another one with the same plug, you were fine. Incidentally, the RF unit also is hardwired, but not the power. The power you can replace quite easily. So there you go. Anyway, let's have a look at some of the games that I've got for it. Thankfully, when I bought this, it came with a whole lot of boxed games, as we can see here. Now, I'm not going to go through them all. I've decided to pick out some of my favourites. This one comes with the console, incidentally. The 3-in-1. Let's have a look at the box before we continue, actually. Ooh, there's a really nice 70s looking television there. Don't make them like they used to, do they? Round screens. Ooh, I can't wait to be a granddad and tell my kids about this. And let's have a look at the cartridges. As you can see, about the same size as an Atari cart. Nice 70s colours there. Comes with the handle though, so you can put the game in and then pull it out like that without, losing your grip on the edges, if that ever happened to you. I don't know. Anyway, yep, that's that. Box is all nicely presented. Manual slips neatly away in here. I'll scan some of the images from the manuals and put them on the Facebook page because they're quite nice to look at. Anyway, I'm going to go through and show you a few of the games, but rather than give you the usual, snide, sarcastic comments that I'm prone to, I'm going to be respectful to the elders, and rather, I shall read you the blurbs while the game footage is being shown. And let's start with this. Speedway. One or more players. You're racing a really mean machine against the clock in a high-speed maze of cars driven by the coolest hotfoots in the world. Spin out, 1 or more players. Explosive off-the-wall race action around a hazardous enclosed track. 2 different raceways. Crypto logic, 2 or more players. Secret messages are scrambled by random transposition ciphers that come out differently every time. You have to outthink the computers. Cosmic conflict. Stunning special effects are featured in this game of intergalactic warfare. You are the commander of the Centurion, an Earth Federation starship guarding a remote corner of the galaxy. An alien invasion fleet from the planet Bad Newsia has penetrated the galaxy's outermost defences. If you do not destroy it, Earth will be enslaved by the enemy hordes. Disintegrate enemy invasion transports with your laser blasters. Elude enemy starfighters warping in from hyperspace. This is a startlingly realistic simulation filled with remarkable special effects, out-of-this-world sounds, on-screen enemy proximity warnings, and actual messages from Star Command. Bowling. A true electronic simulation. You go straight for the pins or hook from either side of the alley, but once you commit to the hook, you're on the hook. There's no going back. Digital scoring, sync sound action, 2 to 4 players. Lanes change colour to let you know when it's your turn. Basketball. So realistic, the court has a built-in gravity field. For ultimate realism, there's even a built-in electronic gravity field. The electronic basketball bounces like a real basketball. If you don't get a clear shot into the basket, the ball hits the rim or the backboard and bounces straight into the court. On-screen digital scoring and timer. Sync sound action. 2 players. KC Munchkin. How many munchies can your munchkin munch before your munchkin's all munched out? The more munchies your munchkin munches, the harder it is to keep your munchkin from getting munched up by one of the munchers. Skill levels increase automatically to create increased challenge as you play. The computer generates myriads of different mazes, or you make up your own. There are even invisible mazes ready for you when you turn pro. Advanced digital scoring with memory displays, high players' name and score, as well as the current player's score. Sync sound action, any number can play. Out of this world! A gravitizing space race. Odyssey Squared re-entry basic interstellar training simulator. The mothership orbits the planets as you and your opponent maneuver your space landers to the surface. Fire your thrusters intermittently to conserve your fuel. You'll need it to blast off and link up with the mothership as it changes speed and direction. 3 different electronic gravity fields simulate conditions on Jupiter, Mars and the Moon. Full sync sound action, digital scoring, 1 or 2 players. Helicopter rescue, a daring life-saving mission. This daring helicopter rescue mission is a race against time. You only have 2 minutes to save as many people as possible from the impending disaster at the Doomsday Hotel. It takes precision flying to get your chopper into position and board the survivors. Sync sound action, digital scoring, on-screen digital timer, realistic flight control, 1 or more players. And there you go, there's just a small amount of games for the Odyssey Squared. Something that did catch my eye though, this is in every game cartridge box by the way. If we go down here, new Odyssey Squared games are constantly being developed. Visit your dealer often, something new will always be on the way. Now I did take my Magnavox to the JB Hi-Fi, EB Games and Dick Smith Electronics here in Australia, and they're not selling them anymore. So if you happen to find one of these boxes and you suddenly get excited that there are some new games on the way, yeah, sorry to be the bearer of bad news. All in all, quite liked the console. Yeah, I think it was a little bit better than the 2600, although the games weren't as memorable as Atari's lot, so there you go. Memories from a foregone past. and also something that I like to play and something that I'd be more than happy to put on my mantelpiece. Definitely beats a game fill up any day.